Significant Israeli boycotts against Superman were prompted by some theories online that the movie is actually written as an allegory about the conflict between Israel and Palestine. There is no proof, of course, but the theories are spreading quickly from both Zionists and anti-Zionists. They are both interpreting the movie as an allegory for this real-world conflict because, of course, their brains are rotted. And
this is one of those political Rorschach tests where whatever is on your brain the most is going to seep its way. To Ben Shapiro's credit, his critique of the movie from like the 3 minutes that we listened to seemed to be more to do with the presentation of Superman, and it wasn't a political statement that he was making. And I want to call into question some dates. Okay, so now this could be true either way because it's not like Israel versus Palestine is something new. It's been going on for a very long time. But this movie began shooting on February 29th, so a leap year, of 2024. And supposedly the script was 99% done before the writer's strike. So in like late April of 2023, before October 7th happened. He did say that they made some touch-ups to the dialogue, like during the production. So I'm looking at that joke about the beautiful female Baravian soldiers maybe being added as some type of IDF dig.
That's because the fictional country of Baravia in the movie is supposedly modeled after Israel.
Whereas Jarinpur is supposed to be Palestine, supposedly. Yeah. But when we were watching this movie, Olivia said it reminded her more of India versus Pakistan. And I said, or Russia and Ukraine would have been the more dominant discussion happening at the time this movie was being written.
Like human beings are pattern recognizing animals, and that's all this is representative of. People can't help but look for similarities and things that they're familiar with. That's all this is. It's all just people seeing things that they believe.
And the fact that multiple people can have multiple interpretations of what that war means is a credit to James Gunn for telling a story that at the very least allowed people who might be politically brain rotted to interpret it in whatever way the brain rot leads
for them. There were other people who thought Superman was an allegory for autism or an allegory for being gay. Like, you found every theory you could possibly think of what this is supposed to represent, and if you ask James Gunn, he's not going to verify any of them because
if he's smart.
This is people coming at it with their own solipsistic worldview.
I remember Christopher Nolan giving an interview once where he said, I think it was for Memento, he did like a Q&A on the release of the movie. And people asked about like fan theories and like his interpretation. And he made the point, he said, it's up for interpretation, but my idea is this. And when he got off stage, Jonathan Nolan said, you can never do that again. He goes, I said it's up for interpretation. He goes, they will never, they're going to take whatever you said as gospel because you are the one who made it. From now on, if it's up for interpretation, then you need to leave it up for interpretation. So until James Gunn, I guess, comes out and is like, actually, that Baravian guy was absolutely Benjamin Netanyahu. And until he does that, and let's face it, if Tim comes out and says he doesn't think it's political, if Ben Shapiro's criticism of it is that it has to do with Superman's portrayal, then these are people who live in politics every day. And I've actually, I've mentioned, I think I've said to Tim, I think that sometimes that his movie critiques are colored by how much politics he reads every day, and that the average person will not interpret it that way.
Phil, have you seen Superman yet?
No.
Are you planning on it? I thought you were.
No, I'm not planning on it, and mostly because I'm not going to go to the movies. Like maybe I'll see it when it's available on like the internet or something. Maybe I'll see it, but no, I'm not particularly interested in this particular Superman.
I had still so much fun with it.
I'm still a Snyderverse kind of dude, and
well, this is not that.
Yeah, I know.
So, from the pro-Palestine perspective, Hassan Piker posted a review of the movie saying Superman just exposed Israel on the big screen. And on the other hand, Ben Shapiro posted his review of Superman, and the very first part of the video clarifies he does not agree with interpretations that it's an allegory for Israel or Palestine or Russia or Ukraine or any of these things. He merely had a problem with the portrayal of Superman. So there are intensely political people, as you said, who are not reading it the same way. There is one pro-Palestine TikToker who goes by Blonde Birch Tree, who went viral interpreting this as an Israel allegory.
I saw the new Superman film last night. Tell me why it is as anti-Israel as people are making out to be. Literally all week, obviously, minus spoiler alert, all week people on Twitter have been saying it's explicitly anti-Israel, explicitly anti-imperialist. And I went into watching the film not really expecting too much, like maybe like a pro-America propaganda film, as most superhero films have been. Without a doubt, that is genuinely the most pro-Palestine I have seen a mainstream film ever be. Again, obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film, but there was literally an entire sequence.
She is going to get into details again, so I will reiterate, if you are going to see it, maybe like plug your ears and go la 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 for the foreseeable future.
That could have been lifted from what we have seen in Gaza. There is an entire sequence of defenseless people picking up sticks and pieces of paper and like literally whatever they can to fight off literal imperialism. Like at one point the film says they're gonna stand up against this far superior army with whatever they have, like regular civilians. Like, what are they gonna do? And do you know how we know that it is definitely anti-Israel? The pro-Israel community is pissed off about it. Apparently the film is incredibly disrespectful and distressing. There is a highly advanced fictional country that is an ally of the US that is attacking a defenseless neighboring people who live behind a fence in order to colonize their land. That is legitimately the plot of Superman. And of course, if Israel speaks out against the film, it would be seen as, well, if the shoe fits. The victims being predominantly brown, predominantly civilians, predominantly fucking children. And what blows my fucking mind is that so many Americans are gonna watch this film and side with the regular civilians. They're gonna side with the defenseless people. They're gonna see this highly advanced military power colonizing defenseless people for what it is. And all I can pray and hope is that they actually make the connection to real life.
So it's kind of funny because the pro-Palestine people and the pro-Israel people are coming together on this, being equally schizophrenic about the meaning of the movie. There were some posts from Zionists. One said, I was gonna see the new Superman movie, but decided to skip. If I wanted pro-Hamas propaganda, I'd turn to Al Jazeera. Another one said, sad to see Superman being used as anti-Israel propaganda. It was awful in general, but the movie features two fictional nations, one of a nation heavily armed white people hell-bent on genocide, represented by anonymous soldiers and an evil old white leader. The other, poor brown people, are represented by innocent children, literally waiting to be mowed down by tanks. They raise their homemade flag of hope, the Superman emblem, but you will see a glimpse of their watermelon-colored flag in the background. Terrible perversion of this beloved franchise, which has such tight historical and philosophical ties to Judaism.
Again, I want to point out that this movie was written before the 2023 writer's strike, so you could make the excuse for some lines being thrown in there to be kind of funny like that, right? But the structure of the film, the major points that carry throughout, those were written before this conflict even took place.
When a Superman movie goes full nuclear anti-Jew, that's when you know the shit has truly hit the fan. Prepare yourselves. This is going to be an ugly century.
You could say that the movie is pro non-intervention, given Lois's take on the matter, saying that who are you to get involved in this battle between two countries that has nothing to do with you? Whereas Superman says, if I see a conflict, if I see someone suffering, I see something bad happening, I can't just sit it out. It's not who I am.
These takes, whether they're written by someone like Hassan Piker or that TikToker, or if they're written by hardline Zionists, they're equally delusional. And sadly, written by people who have let politics rot their brains to the point they're not able to enjoy straight up entertainment. They're not able to interpret art anymore.
This was a tweet that I saw. It said the new Superman movie is basically Nazi agitprop against Jews. As the film reaches its climax, Lex Luthor and Israel try to exterminate all of humanity and the entire universe with a black hole so as to stop Superman from saving Gaza. Well, Lex Luthor did it because he hates Superman. Right? Mm-hmm. Lex Luthor has no bones to pick about what's going on in Jar and Poor. He's using it as a way of getting to Superman. The Baravia stand-in for Israel basically dominates and lords over America. No, the Baravian prime minister dude is like subservient to Lex in the movie because he wants the land. And that's between Lex and Baravia, not Baravia and the U.S. government. Though theoretically, you could make the point that Lex is working as a contractor for the U.S. government, so maybe that's a connection. You could be right about that. He says that the Baravia stand-in for Israel basically dominates and lords over America, wantonly slaughtering random American civilians with constant false flag terror attacks against New York City skyscrapers. I wish I was kidding, but it was literally a Groyper movie. It's like something out of Goebbels.
Oh
they literally present Zionist as an interdimensional cosmic threat to all life in the universe.
It should also be mentioned, by the way, that David Cornsweet, who stars as Superman, happens to be Jewish. Another Zionist said, I'm a man boiling with rage. Yesterday, I went with my son to watch the new Superman, the ultimate superhero character created by two Jewish immigrants, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, in the 1930s. The character is supposed to represent hope, justice, and light. The actor playing Superman, Jewish. The studios owned by Jews. This is written by a Zionist, by the way. Even the character himself, symbolically and historically, is considered to have Jewish roots, a refugee sent from crisis and war to save a better world, created to empower Jews who returned from the Holocaust. And what did the pathetic progressives in Hollywood do? They trampled all over this.
Well, to be
and
fair,
it just goes on and on. It's a whole dissertation.
They did point out that he wasn't saved to save anything this one. He was saved to colonize the entirety of Earth and create a harem.
Well, I'm assuming that's why he thinks that it's a movie that hates Jews, I suppose.
I wonder what would have happened if this movie had come out prior to the most recent conflict of what's going on. But
they'd find some other way to ruin it for themselves, I'm sure.
I suppose it's better than having it be some allegory for Russia and Ukraine. That's just so 4 years ago.
Yeah, these people are joyless.
Maybe that's the comparison. Because in the movie... does Lex give all of the billions of dollars in LexCorp manufactured weapons to Jar and Poor for like $1 billion, despite being like $80 billion worth of weapons? Or does he give it to Baravia? I think he gives like $80 gazillion worth of weapons to Baravia, but only charges them $1 million or $1 billion.
We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Spider-Man had a 4-issue event focusing on the Salem witch trials featuring Dr. Doom, Scarlet Witch, and the Vision. The Invaders comics were also based on World War II and the Nazis. These wackos just don't read comics. I didn't know about any of that.
Look, the thing is it does get hard sometimes. If all you do is read about politics and obsess about politics, you start to see it everywhere. And that's usually a good time to kind of disconnect for a while and maybe touch a little grass.
Touching grass is very, very good. Highly recommend.
I mean, unless you're in Jar and Poor where there is no grass and you're getting invaded.
Touch some rubble.
Yeah,
maybe.
Touch some rubble.
Touch some sand.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.